we have been linked to a midfielder, Damon. Very strong chances of signing Matheus Nunes from Sporting Lisbon. I've heard a few talks myself on this about we are definitely interested and we reckon we can get him for around 30 mil. He is only 23. Would you be happy with him? Because a signing like that makes me think that's coming in and Bellingham next year, but that's for now.
That's exactly what I want. If we can't get Bellingham this summer, then someone like that is perfect because we're still improving on what we've got now with over like Ox and Cater and Jones, but we're still wanting our number one target. We're still keeping that option open. You know, if we get someone like Barella, then maybe that Bellingham door could shut. But if we're getting Nunes, it's better for this season and still improving next season with Bellingham. So that would be a perfect signing for me. I'd be all for that.
He's been averaging an assist every 3 games in that league, Jay. Apparently, he's Sporting's best player. Can we really go and take the 3 biggest clubs, 3 best players in one? In fact, 1.5 windows.
You may as well finish the job, mate. You let go for the hat-trick. No one wants a brace. You want to score a hat-trick, don't you? So, no, he's good age, mate, and that's the type of player we need. You know, an assist every 3 games. That's where we lack in midfield, is creativity. We rely on Thiago massively. And obviously, most of our assists come from the wing backs, I get that, but it's always good to have a midfielder who can play a killer pass, which it's too few and far between with the midfielders we've got at the minute, and people always throw Henderson's assist against United at me. 2 clips in a year is not good enough. You know, it's not. I could throw you 5 of them clips a game for De Bruyne. Yeah, I'm not dissing Henderson, but you need a bit of better creativity in your midfield, which maybe might be Elliot or Carvalho this year, if they get more games. But if not, then yeah, I'd like to shore up the midfield a bit more and then wait for that big one next year, hopefully.
I mean, he is literally ranking as one of the best in the world in his position for assists. Anyway, Jay, so adding that into our midfield.
No brainer in it, lad, especially at his age and that. So, yeah, I'd be. This one looks like it's got a bit more traction as well. Like there might be some truth behind it. So, I hope there is, especially now. I think the fact Oxlade had an injury, that's only going to add fuel to all these rumours now anyway, because we're in midfield down, and to be fair, the way he was like slapping the floor, it didn't look like it's going to be a few weeks type of injury. And Ox must know what a serious injury feels like now. He's had that many. He's going to know he's out for a while, do you know what I mean? And that's not even having a swipe at him, it's true.
If it's his hammy, it's like 2 months, isn't it?
There's actually fans happy that we had those 8 options, those midfielders. I don't know if they started watching football in the last year or 2, or playing FIFA or something, where Ox probably don't get injured on FIFA. I don't know if he does or not. I usually sell him out first season, so I won't know what happens to him after that. But yeah, there's actually fans are happy that we had them 8 midfielders, including Ox in there, knowing that Ox gets injured every season. And when he got injured the other day, I was like, what are you actually expecting?
Do you not think people may be looking at it from a standpoint of we reached every final last year and took the leagues the last day of the season with this current midfield?
What if we bought Diaz at the start of the season instead of January? Where do we got to?
I think we would have won the league.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We need to act when we need to act. If we bought a midfielder last summer, if we bought someone like Nunes last summer, would we have won the league? I think we would have.
Yeah, potentially.
And those kind of signings and those kind of moves, a club like Liverpool should be making. There's no excuses.
I mean, looking at him, Damon, he isn't scared to run at players either. He averages 5 dribbles a game and is successful in 3 of them. And that puts him again in the 99th percentile, the best in the world. 4.25 players he dribbles past per 90 minutes. Again, putting him against the best in the world in the 99th percentile. So he's not scared to have an assist, not scared to have a go either, not scared to run at people. That is just literally what Liverpool are missing, isn't it? I know we want Bellingham, but this is the perfect. It could be Bellingham and Nunes for years to come. He is only 23.
I like him a bit to Naby Keita in terms of what we were bringing in before, because when Naby Keita played for Leipzig, he was this guy that scored, assisted, ran through the middle of the pitch like it was, it was like a training match half the time. And Keita, just with him, the injuries have killed him off, and we need to move someone like that on because we can't rely on a player that's injured prone like that. But Nunes would be that perfect replacement for him. And if we can get him in now at that cheap price before he goes somewhere else, because that price ain't going to stay like that for 5 years. There's no chance. I'm going to say now he's going to be like an £80 million player in 5 years.
He's got the potential, hasn't he? And Jay, I think these rumours have ramped up further because Sporting have just brought Trincao in, or they're looking to Trincao in from Barca on loan. So that's his replacement sorted straight away. So it does seem like there's legs to it. 30 mil. What can go wrong? The Ox cost us 35. Context.
I'm fucking starting me on him. It's not that like 30 mil these days. It sounds terrible, obviously, like the way it is and that, but 30 mil isn't even a big transfer anymore, mate. That used to be like a marquee signing. Well, what, 2008-ish, around then, that was a marquee signing. It's not now. 30 million's just like it's seen as a bargain if it turns out a decent player. His age and the stature said in that, yeah, like you'd be all over him. It's exactly the type of midfielder that we need, and maybe Klopp has looked at it as well. Where I've got this injury and thought, you know what, like I can't rely on what I've got here. I'm probably going to need one more face in. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we do actually go for him. Like you said as well, if we get him in Bellingham next year, then that's your midfield sort of an age in midfield suddenly all of a sudden looks young and promising again just by getting two players.
Get Nunes in, Damon. Is that a successful window if we only bring him in and no one else now?
Yeah, it is to a certain extent, I think. It's not the perfect window, is it? I mean, we still need a Salah backup. I still think we need two midfielders personally, but because I don't think Henderson's got it anymore. And Thiago is just the best midfielder, one of the best midfielders in the world, but he's just too injured prone to him to miss out and then bringing someone else in. The drop off's too big. So I would personally believe another right wing and two midfielders would be perfect, but you know, we're hardly going to get anyone at this rate with this club. So all I can do is cross my fingers. But Nunes coming in, it's okay. It's not perfect. I'd say it's a successful one just because we actually.
What makes it perfect for you then? Jude Bellingham or Anthony?
Both.
I don't want much, Damon.
I know, yeah.
Hey, I'm starved. Absolutely starved of good transfers.
Well, UJ, if we brought Nunes in, is that a successful window with nobody else bringing in now?
I'd be happy to be honest, because we've addressed the right back situation by signing Ramsey. That was a big one. Because when Trent's out, Nico demands him or nothing like that. But I think we need someone who can actually play week in, week out, that you're not asked about coming in. You're happy for them to come in. So we addressed that. Nunes, I don't think any of us were expecting that. So that was a nice surprise. And then if we do bring a central midfielder in, that's what I wanted. It might not be Barella, it might not be Bellingham, but I'm sure the scouts have done the work. And yeah, I'd say that's a pretty successful window, to be honest. I know what Liverpool are like. We're never going to sign 5 or 6 players in one window. It'd be nice, of course it would, bringing in Anthony Bellingham and Nunes and the other Nunes, but it isn't footy manager. And even clubs who do that, Liverpool aren't one of them. So yeah, I'd be happy, to be honest, if we got one more in midfield. I think it'd be a decent window. What about you?
I think if we brought him in, it's a successful window because, I mean, I've seen a few comments saying like Sange, Nunes and Anthony. Who's just said that. That basically sorts out our depth for the next 10 years. I don't think Liverpool will do that in one window, but I'm annoyed because I feel like we would have brought Darwin Nunes in still had we got Tchouaméni as well.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, where's this 70 million gone? Why can't we just go to Dortmund and add another 10 million and go, here's 80 million, give us Bellingham? If you go in with an £80 million offer, they're probably going to be tempted. So if we had the money there for Tchouaméni, why can't we do it for Bellingham? That's what's doing me head in. But if we brought Nunes in and we did get Bellingham next year, then I'd be happy with Nunes now, because then that allows, when Thiago's not playing or Henderson, it allows Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott minutes. And I think the drop off to Harvey Elliott especially isn't as much as what we may think. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, he looks quality. He looks sharp in pre-season as well. Klopp keeps saying as well he was our best player start of last season. To be fair, he probably was. So if we can get back to that, then yeah, you'd be laughing.
This is a good comment as well. Damon, Milner's last season as a player in the squad. If he's probably is going to go this year, whether he goes to a coach next year or whatever. Replacing Milner with Jude Bellingham's replacing another homegrown talent in your squad for 10 years. So it takes another you replace one longevity with potentially another longevity, aren't you? If you did get someone like Bellingham in next year.
Definitely, that'd be perfect. That would be the perfect replacement for Milner. But I can't understand why Milner's still here, though. I love the guy. Honestly, I love the guy to bits. But when you can get a free bus pass and still play for Liverpool, it's something's not right. I don't know if Klopp has him in his will or something like that. Something's not right for him to.
I think in these season games though, he looks sharp.
He's looked boss lad. You know, I was just going to say he's looked like one of the sharpest players.
But when it comes to shove and he comes in those games, I still have nightmares about that City game when he played at right back and he got torn a new one. Honestly, it's just sentimentality again. Keeping players here for sentimentality, and I just don't believe it. I don't believe it, and we're just accepting that sort of thing. If you look back at the years of Premier League and look at United teams and the Chelsea teams, as soon as a player got older, obviously Giggs went to midfield, but as soon as he got older enough to not play right in midfield, he was off. They didn't keep him on. They didn't keep Rooney on. For what did he go? About 31, 30? He didn't last that long, did he?
No.
So, but we seem to have the same. De Bruyne tweeted something out earlier where it was a squad. I don't know if it was like 6-7 years ago. At City, he had the whole squad, and it was just him left, him highlighted. If Liverpool did that, we'd have about 10 players still here. About 10 highlights of the players still here. And I find that absolutely mad.
I mean, Milner is on a lot more reduced. I like Milner there just for his head in the dressing room. I don't think he's on that much money anymore. He did take a reduction. He's probably on a pay-as-you-play deal, maybe. But something that's just caught my eye there is that Nunes. He's a right-footed, so it makes me think. I've been looking into it, and Bellingham plays more on the left. He's Thiago's replacement. I think that's why we're happy to wait. But Nunes plays on the right, and that's probably our weakest side of central midfield.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
there must be legs to this.
Is this Thiago's last year on the field, by the way? Did we only give him a 3?
He's got one more.
Has he got one more? Because he's not going to get anything after that, is he? Low in all likeliness.
That's why I think bringing Bellingham in next year makes more sense for Liverpool, in a sense of he's got a year to learn off Thiago, probably.
Well, that's what I was going to say, yeah.
And then this Nunes has got now where he's coming in. I think has he got 1 or 2 more years? Because there was an option in his contract. Does it run out at the end of this year? And
was it 3, wasn't it? Didn't he sign 3?
I think it was 3, yeah.
With an additional optional year, I think. Fuck no, he must be about 40 then, like.
So this Nunes comes in, then he's got 2 years to learn from Hendo.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I think he'd take over.
You want anyone learning off Thiago, though? Like, Thiago's just a different kettle, I think, honestly. I think he's just levels at other people. He plays footy like snooker and golf, where, your next 5 shots, he's different level Thiago. So, any young player you're bringing in, I just want him to have as much time with Thiago as possible. I'd have Trent learning off Thiago, not because I want Trent to move into midfield, just because they're both ridiculous passers of the ball. So, just to learn little things off each other that you wouldn't maybe necessarily know, because I think Trent's one of the most underrated players in the world. You know what I really do? I think the stuff he does with the ball is just ridiculous, and people don't talk about it enough. Some of the passes he makes, mate, honest to God, the PlayStation passes. Honestly, they are. Like, there's nothing else outside foot careless that just fall to you. Mate, he's ridiculous. One of the best passes I've ever seen. Ever.
Unbelievable.
Just saying.
Thiago's like prime Ronnie O'Sullivan, isn't he? Back in the day when he has that long hair down there, and he used to just cruise around the table, didn't he, Ronnie O'Sullivan? He used to cruise on the table, switched it to left hand and things like that. That's how Thiago plays football. He plays with such swagger, and it's such a good to watch. I know he's not just an eye merchant though. He backs it up on the pitch and he creates some brilliant chances. So Thiago's a hard
ridiculous. He's ridiculous, Thiago.
So I think he's one of the best midfielders I've seen play for us, probably since Gerrard and Alonso. Being honest,
he's like someone that you pay to watch him. Like I'd watch him, just watch him. That's the way he just top player.